I've been making hardcore leveling warrior videos for a few months now. Sure, I've made other Webtoon videos, but it's mainly been hardcore leveling warrior. This is leading me to say two things. One, I think I have a fairly good grasp on hardcore leveling warrior, and the understandings of where the story might go. And two, for the next few weeks, I'm going to start making videos on Unordinary. I'm going to make the D&D chart for some of these characters. Don't worry, I'll still come back to hardcore leveling warrior. For the next few videos, I'm going to be talking about Unordinary. So if you haven't read anything but hardcore leveling warrior, then I highly recommend read some Unordinary. It's a great webtoon. But before we get to that, hardcore leveling warrior is on episode 14, season 2, while writing the script. However, by the time this gets posted, there will be 4 episodes that I haven't read, including the 3 fast pass episodes. So if anything gets disproven, then whatever, I'm fine with it. That's gonna happen. Yeah, sure, okay. I want to make a speculation video, speculating where season 2 of Sleepwalker is going, mainly in the form of our favorite moron, the hardcore leveling warrior, Ethan. For the webtoon being called The Hardcore Leveling Warrior, the hardcore leveling warrior hasn't made an appearance in season 2. Actually, he's made 1 appearance, but he didn't even interact with the main cast. He didn't even say anything. All we get is his dumb smile that I miss so much. So the big question is, Ethan alive? Well, I think the answer is kind of obvious. Yes, of course he's alive. But the better question is, how is he alive? Last time we saw him in action, he was sealed into a barrel and tossed into the ocean, with the only hope we had was the witch, questioning if she should get involved. Alongside Ethan, Lila is tossed into the ocean with Ethan. Not only that, but she tells Sora that Ethan is alive and saved her. So we know that he's alive, and I'm willing to say a pretty good reason, but I'm still skeptical. Think of it like this. How did Ethan save her? There's no real way that Ethan could have saved her, except if he had some help. I think the answer is pretty clear. Of course the witch had to have helped. But there's something we really never asked. Why? Why was the witch so prevalent in these 3 players' lives? Do you know how many times the witch appears? She only appears about 4 times. Once when the game was created, another time to help Dark, then at the trial of the dragon, and then finally the part I've mentioned already, when she considers to help Ethan. So, do we have any reason to know why these players are so important to the witch? Well, Dark is an obvious one. Dark is the grandson of the creator of the game, so it's obvious that he's a point of interest to her. And since it's his team, that's why she's interested in all of them. But out of all these moments, the moment during the trial of the dragon sticks out above the rest. You see, as much as I've mentioned the trial of the dragon, and I've mentioned it many times at this point, I've never really mentioned something. It's that the witch was the reason that Team Dark ever did the trial. There's a strange conversation between the evil dragon and the witch that goes like this. Everyone is passing the trial smoothly, not knowing the weight of their own karma. Is this what you wanted, witch? Yes. Are they doing well? That game must come to an end no matter what. The ending. That's the reason I planted you there. You're the one who leads them to see the game's end. So the evil dragon wasn't only created to fulfill Grandpa Dark's story, but to help with the witch lead these 3 to see the game's ending. She knows that these 3 will be extremely integral in the ending of the game. This is most likely why the witch asked the evil dragon to make them participate in the trial, so that they can all be heroes. Well, cursed heroes, but still, they gain the title of heroes. But also, so that Ethan would learn that he's not alone, so he doesn't get too attached with the fake world. The witch actually calls this out. Number 1 ranked. The more you think you were tossed away in the real world, the more you get obsessed in that fake world. A big part of Ethan's final trial was choosing to stay with ARMS or to go back into the real world. The real world that mistreated him, the real world that didn't love him, the real world that tossed him aside. However, he chooses to go back and fight. Ethan points out that the world hasn't just been unfair to him, but to Sora and to Dark too. He feels like his life might get better just by being with them, by looking with them, by being a part of their team. Honestly, a super sweet moment that helps show where Ethan's character is gonna go. But the point is that Ethan and the rest of Team Dark are gonna play a key role in the game's end. The witch even says that the game must come to an end no matter what. So, since Ethan will see and play a part in the game's ending, it makes sense that the witch would have saved him. However, what is the game's ending? In the normal sense, you can just kind of play a game, finish it, but you can always go back to it. However, I guess Lucid Adventure isn't a normal sense. So, is the god's death an ending? Is that the ending? Or is it not the ending because they can still play it? Is the ending still coming up, or is it not here yet? Lucid Adventure likes to be weird and be super spontaneous, so I'm gonna say that that's not the ending. I'm gonna say that she wants this world to come to an end. The ending of the world is what's gonna happen. Not just the game, the world will end. So I think that the game hasn't ended yet. That's why the witch saved him, because he's super important to the ending of the game, of that world. And since Ethan is a good person now and helping people, he asked the witch to get Lila's barrel, because he's not 100% a terrible person. So Ethan is alive. Let's talk about a few theories about where he might be. First, Sad Smile. There's a small theory that Ethan could be using Sad Smile's account. This cannot be the case, because when you log in, it scans your bio data, or like your DNA, I guess. And surprisingly, President Kim is actually alive. After being physically stabbed in the back and whacked in the head with a bat filled with nails, when his crew comes, they check his pulse, and they say his pulse is still beating. So it can't be him. Also, take a look at this really weird scene where the four misfits play cards. Notice what Sad Smile does. Sad Smile folds on the first round. That's not something Ethan would do. Ethan would go all in, even if he had a terrible set. Also, there's the player Chota, and that isn't Ethan either. The reason that the demon can replicate the hardcore leveling warrior player and his skills was due to Chota's karma, because it's very similar to Ethan's, and karma is a completely other thing that I'll get into maybe another time. And let's talk about number one ranked player. Number one ranked player is unlikely to be him either. Not only did he insult Dark more than normal Ethan would, but we know that during a duel, Ethan would have taken a skill or an item, not just gold. Also, the number one ranked player is a swordsman, and we know that Ethan isn't. That's why he can't use an eagle sword. He's a gambler, not a swordsman. Those are two very different classes. I also thought of the Elixir Plant Guild, a powerful guild that has carefully selected players. They're second only to Giga. I thought that Ethan could be in that guild. He was the number one ranked player, so they would love to have him in there. But the guild is only for elderly players, so that rules that out. And I guess the only thing we have left is the broken coin situation. They're collecting broken coins of his lucky coin to see where that goes. So where is that leading? Are we talking like a portal situation where once all the pieces are collected, it allows him to come back? Or is it more of like, it's a string of clues that eventually leads to Ethan? I mean, they're going through this dungeon that I've misspelled in my script. They're trying to go through this dungeon to find Ethan, and they're using the best item in the game, the Mini Snob, an item that looks and reacts for hardcore leveling warrior's karma from his lucky coin. So in the end, where is this all going? Well, let's take a look back in Season 1, see what we can glean from that. I think we all kind of forgot that the main reason Dark went on his quest to begin with, the reason he hired Ethan, the reason he got his team, the reason he participated and won the combat tournament, was to find someone important to him. So if it's like Season 1, it might not end well for Ethan. I don't think anyone's forgotten what happened to Grandpa Dark. Remember, he dies. That's part of Dark's character arc in Season 1. It's the tragedy of him working so hard to find that one person in his life that gave him love and attention, and it's violently taken from him. It's how Dark becomes a stronger person. He got stronger for Grandpa Dark. He got stronger for Ethan. These two have weird parallels in regard to Dark. They both tease him, yet they respect him, and Dark loves them both, but he's outwardly rude to both of them. Dark goes on epic quests just to get stronger, just to see both of them, fighting family and becoming a better person. Remember, death is important in any story. You can take a look at any Spider-Man movie. Death is the reason that they go on. It's why they learn, it's why they grow. Death is important. It might be painful to see some of the characters that we love die, like Ethan, but remember, if Ethan dies, it's to better Dark. It's to improve and continue his story arc. It's to rush him forward. But I believe that Ethan is alive. What I believe to happen is that Team Dark finds Ethan about halfway through the season, during which they've been fighting No Name's Nightmare Guild. And it seems like they don't know what's going on and they don't know what's going to happen. But Ethan comes in and he has a plan to help. The reason he hasn't been playing the game was because he's been trying to lay low. Also, it could be that he went with the witch somewhere. Think about it. Why didn't he go with Lila somewhere? They both have nowhere to go, but she logged on while he hasn't. He could be learning from the witch. Learning about Nightmare, learning how to stop it, and most importantly, learning about No Name. No Name looks similar to ARMS and has all of her old moves and old attacks. Someone actually suggested that she could be a Nightmare doppelganger of ARMS, but like a more human one, which makes some sense. No Name didn't get a Nightmare doppelganger, but that's besides the point. Ethan could be learning, and when all hope seems lost, that's when I expect him to show back up. But I guess it's really anyone's guess where the gambler comes back. If we're being honest, I really do miss the idiots. I can't wait to see how he reacts to seeing Dark and Sora become so strong. But until that point, like always, thank you for watching.